What is up everyone, it's TK and welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can see, we're gonna dive into a fireball yeeter strategy, which I believe is the strongest strategy in the current game. Now guys, this is super broken, so let's dive in and see how you can execute your attacks. Alright, here we are on the first attack, and guys, we have this core town hall base, which is the meta in Legends League. So guys, what I want to do is to drop the fireball on the Inferno Tower, but there's a but. I'm gonna miss it fully. Guys, this is my worst attack with this strategy. And boom, there goes my beautiful fireball. And guys, I'm telling you, like, I wanted to bring this exact attack first so you can see like the way it's broken and how it works, even if you miss everything and everything goes to, like, I don't want to say the word. Okay, I don't want to say the word, but yeah, everything goes very bad. Let's say it like that. Now, obviously, the Warden is struggling a bit here, so I wanted to help him out with some archers, maybe even try and help him with Titans, because guys, the Warden, or sorry, something is gonna pull the CC if I'm not mistaken here. Yes, the Booger. So the Booger did pull a few of these archers, and it's gonna be annoying in front of the Monolith, so I did drop a Titan so we can get through it. And this is where I realized, hold on, we can actually start the army, but look at the Clan Castle. Double furnace. Like, guys, what is going on in this attack? I wanted to even pull the Warden away with the King, but it just didn't work, and everything is going crazy. I'm gonna spam everything in with the, yeeters. We're gonna drop in like the Queen, siege barracks, and everything, just dive into the base, giving the jump access to the King and the yeeters to go inside the base and the town hall, because obviously we don't want to one-star this, right? Now, the Queen and the P.E.K.K.A.s are doing amazing from the lower side. They can move to the next compartment, and you can then wall break the next compartment. You can see how we have two wall breakers moving around the base, but here is where I'm gonna actually RC into her ability to try and cover this entire lower side so we don't move away from the base. This ability from the Royal Champion in this strategy is a game changer. It can actually make sure nothing goes too much to the outside and everything stays focused inside the base, moving around. You can use it whenever it's necessary, like an emergency equipment, but obviously you can see now we still got the King ability, even though we dropped the King right in front of the Monolith. Like, guys, what is happening in this strategy is unbelievable. Still got 3 heroes from our starter. And yes, we do have a freeze, even though we invested so many spells on that Warden. Going with the free spells, you can see the Yeeter is still alive in the core, obviously tanking for a scatter shot. You do have one Headhunter in this army, so make sure you drop it on the enemy King or, of course, the Minion Prince. Those are the only 2 heroes that you need the Headhunter on, and usually pick one of them. Obviously, if you are diving into the King with the Grand Warden Fireball, use it there. If you're diving into the Minion Prince, you don't need to. You can use a Rage or an Invisibility or a Freeze to get through it. And at the end of the attack, like this, if you're using and ending the attack on the enemy King, you can obviously use it there as well. And look at this crushing attack. Let's move on to our second hit. Second hit, I wanted to showcase a double rage layout. Of course, one of these rage towers needs to go down with the fireball, so there is not much damage left of the base. And I'm going to show you another double rage base, whereas I don't take down one of the spell towers with the fireball. So it's not always like you have to get something. Going with this fireball, getting the value, getting a clan castle, and we don't have a poison in this army, because obviously, first of all, it's a fireball army, so you can take down the clan castle like this attack, and second of all, we do have Electro Titan, which is going to be the troop to take down the clan castle for you. So now, just giving Warden a bit of time, I'm going to drop a skeleton spell. I wanted to drop a Yeeter to take down the single Inferno and move to the lower side. So that's what I'm doing. Titan, Headhunter for the enemy King, more Yeeters, going with the P.E.K.K.A., going with the Queen ability, Wallbreaker, so we have access to the single Inferno. Now you can see how we are managing our Wallbreakers and later our jump spell with later on the King ability. 2 things you can do in this strategy with the jump and the Earthquake Boots are, for example, you can pop the Earthquake Boots first if there is too much damage you want to get through, and then jump the back end. Or, like me in this attack and the previous attack, use the jump first, pop the King later for the back end, which is usually what you want to do on most of the cases. Now guys, where do you use the RC in such manners? Because obviously Queen and King and Yeeters will take down the complete left hand side. So I decided to go with the RC on the right, whereas Shield and the Rocket Spear can take down that entire back end of the base where your queen might struggle, where your king ability, which is gone, can struggle now if the king dies, where your yeeters could actually struggle if the rage tower is fully up and going. So you can see how, depending on the base, I choose the RC path, and this is what I missed. This is what I personally missed with the Royal Champion. Like, everything now is RC walk, RC charge, mass invisibility, 4 invisibility. Everything is regarding RC, and you drop it at the beginning of the attack. You sometimes even lose her, but I love to be able to be so flexible with the back end and how I use my RC abilities. So let's move on to the 13 and see what I do. So up next we have a CWL attack, and guys, I actually kind of was nervous because this was the first time I was using this strategy and I didn't want to mess up the CWL because obviously, yes, it's gonna be a meme if I do miss the CWL. Now guys, look at this. I saw the Warden being under so much damage, so I wanted to quickly go with that ability, and unfortunately the value is gone. I wanted to pop it on their, geared up tower, and that would have taken down such a huge amount of this base. But I told you, the strategy is broken, and I do not know why it's in the game in CWL time, because obviously it's tough to defend it. Like, I understand Legends League and lower leagues, but having it in Champs 1 CWL, like places where crazy amount of money is involved, like, it's insane. Let me just tell you that. So going with the Warden on the side, obviously, and the Queen and the Siege Barracks on the other side, and now we're going to dive into the space with the Yeeters, and all we got, notice the jump spell. I'm going to give access into the Town Hall compartment as well, in case some of the Yeeters want to go there. So this approach will actually make sure we only negate one of those spitters. So going from behind one of them, going with that, rage. Of course, you need to keep the healers alive. That's why you can see that bat, like the sneezy. Look how beautiful it's deploying the boogers so it can tank for the healers. Look at that lower booger. It could have made a huge difference. Of course, the healers aren't perfectly placed around the base now, but in any base style, the booger will help you out a lot. And look at the force we are having through this base and the back end. And guys, one thing you may be thinking, like, what happens if you lose a king ability early on, or you lose wall breakers? Well, guys, these boogers, I believe, and not the boogers, sorry, the yeeters, they do 6 times more damage to walls. Like, this is insane. A P.E.K.K.A doesn't do that damage itself. It's insane how much damage. It's like a moving wall breaker. You don't even need wall breakers. But obviously we have jump and the earthquake boots to basically open any base. You can open up any base with 2 wall breaker, jump, and a king ability. Doesn't matter how good it's designed. So let's dive into a core-ish town hall with double rage compartments. Now guys, notice this, I will always start from the right because of my, just muscle memory, and I'm right-handed. But notice the left side, there is a gigabomb. So you don't want to really go through that if you have the option. You can choose to fireball the left compartment, move to the right side. Otherwise, you would have fireballed the right because of the muscle memory and move into a gigabomb, which you don't absolutely have to. So notice these key little things. It's not going to make huge difference because this is a troop which is completely broken, but it can make a difference in your regular attacks and your plannings and how you can actually avoid certain things. So going with the beautiful fireball, getting that insane amount of value. You guys saw, we don't need to get crazy value. All you need is a good funnel. But if I see a rage tower on the outside, just like this, or like the first layer, why not? I'm going to absolutely wreck that base and use it in my advantage. Now, we have the yeeter on the lower side here. Something I didn't tell you is that sometimes you can use one of these yeeters with your queen and siege barracks. It can actually help the queen out a lot to move around the base and make very good funnel. So now, wallbreaker skeleton spell, we are diving in. I'm going with the jump very soon to not forget the jump. If you forget it, sometimes the king could fully run to the outside because of, you can see the enemy king right here. If you don't forget the jump and drop it a bit late, king suddenly moves away. Watch out. So now moving to the rage spell area, obviously we have the king ability, which I'm going to be popping and getting the value so the rage tower doesn't have a chance of taking us down. This is where, again, now you decide where to use the RC. I can see the queen on the lower side is good, the yeeters are fine on the top. left, or sorry, top right side. So what I need is the monolith and a bit of help to the yeeters from the other side of that ricochet cannon, which I'm going to drop this RC on the monolith to try to get it down so we can have an easier finish, because obviously the monolith wasn't reachable with king and queen. So you can see whatever is not reachable, whatever it's hurting you, drop your royal champion and the rocket spear. If there is a town hall left alive, and for example you fireballed around it, and now you're just moving around the town hall with the yeeters, but you don't have access to the town hall, RC is there for you. Pop the ability, get the town hall done, and move away from it. It's really nice and enjoyable to use something else as a royal champion ability right now. But yeah, otherwise the strategy itself is crazy. Final attack, we do have another double rage spell compartments, and obviously sometimes you're like, okay, I really want to get the rage, but guys, the rage towers are a bit too deep. They are really deep, and you don't want to have a warden charge for the waves. You're having a warden walk on most of the attacks, and that basically means you just on the outside layer. No spells really invested for the warden, nothing crazy, no Cocoloons to go deep, no freeze, headhunter. It's just a simple warden walk. So don't be greedy. If you want to be greedy, make sure you use more spells to support the warden. Otherwise, you are going to lose out on him. And look at this beautiful fireball, just to get simple value and move away from that side of the base. Now, obviously, don't be like dropping your troops too fast. You're always gonna have time, even if you give warden 1 whole minute. So make sure the warden cleans up that entire compartment. Everything is one shot. Why not? Once it does and it's finished with the compartment, you can go with the yeeters. One thing again I'm doing in this army is to go with the baby dragon in between our main army and the siege barracks with the queen. So this way we have very good funnel into the base. Watch out for the fire spitters. This is one thing that if there is a fire spitter like this, they can hurt your healers or hurt your well, ground warden, as you can see here. So what I'm doing is early rage, and I'm actually, I believe so, yes, I'm going with the freeze for this fire spitter so it doesn't kill off my troops. Once we are in the core with the king and you use the jump beforehand, you can open up everything, but don't be too quick. Look at the king. He's moving to the super, but the super died. He's moving above, but then the spitters die, so he's coming down. You can see how patience makes a difference with the king ability. Now, yeeters have access to the entire base. I do not need DRC on this attack. I can just let it go with queen and the minions on the outside, yeeters and warden in the core. Obviously, if you want, you can speed things up if you are low on time. Drop DRC right around the 7, 8 o'clock. Pop the ability, get it done with, and move to the next hit. But obviously, this is content for YouTube, so I'm going to swag RC if I can. Simple as that. This army is super broken. Make sure you use it. The link of it will be down below in the description. And I was really glad I could have come up with this fireball strategy, because I tried different methods of using the yeeters. They were good, but I just never got what I got with the fireball yeeter, and it's insane. Hopefully, I'll see you guys in the future. Take care and peace.